Welcome back to the kitchen. You are here with Team Mad Rational in the building with your man Twitch for Life, Arthur Yves, and DJTriggaTrey in the building for the first time. What's up, brother?
Oh man, what's good?
Man, chilling. Today we're gonna be talking about music mixes and mastery in the house. And in the background, people will notice one of your latest mixes.
Oh, word. Uh-oh.
So they'll get to experience DJTriggaTrey while talking to TriggaTrey about his experiences. Boom.
Okay. All right. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying?
DJTriggaTrey.
Oh, so remember I told you I was watching the videos about the digital like content marketing, right? And I was like, I got to the last video, and they were like, "We want to sell you all this stuff now."
Yeah.
Right. The guy I met today, Michael.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh yeah, I paid for all that stuff." He was like, "Hey, bro, you come help me out with the podcast." He's like, "I'll give you my login. You can just watch all the videos." He's like, "I won't charge nothing." I was like, I'm meant to get something out of that next part of that information, because it's like there's no way I'm just like fuck, and like dedicated that time though to watching them as they released, and then to just not have the funds, because I think the video is like $1,000 for the whole thing. What? Oh, for like $1,000 for the whole thing, and he paid it. I'm not gonna pay it. What? What are you doing?
I feel like he's laughing at the background music. I can tell.
That's the air horn.
Oh.
Anything horns, he laughs at.
No, it's the air horn. It's just
The air horn. Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum. We were supposed to have like a virtual button. What happened?
The motorbike. Is that where you were going with that?
I was watching this video that was like the the Billboard one hit wonders.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
Mario on there. Mario was on there.
Yeah,
Sammy,
Cassie, right?
yeah.
Mims.
Oh yeah, Mims. This
Jibs.
is why I'm hot. Yeah.
I was like, Young Dro.
Last we know, Mario still getting his hair braided. He still.
But he had more than one though. He only had like three. He had three.
I think that was the last one. Is he's looking for somebody to braid his hair.
Yeah. Oh, Lil Romeo was on there.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I didn't even know he had one hit. I just knew he made tracks.
Yeah, because he was over there with Romeo. He actually got his clout because Bow Wow was hot.
Right.
And he was Master P's son, so it was
Right.
like,
So we
his
thought
name
he was gonna
started
be
with Lil,
somebody.
so it's like,
yeah.
J Dash.
Lil Sammy really should have been on there, but he wasn't. You know.
Hold on, real quick. This is my.
But then I was listening to the tracks. I'm like, these are tracks people still play in the club. Like,
Yeah. Oh, J Dash.
You ever heard this?
The WAP? Oh yeah. I know the song. I mean, there's a dance.
Yeah.
Nah,
th-
WAP.
like
WAP.
this gets played at every night at every club.
For real?
Yeah.
Not
I thought
every
this was
night,
some super underground.
No,
like
sir.
nobody got into this.
This is
the
played
one that starts
all the time.
This is the one that starts. Oh.
I've never heard this out in any club. I've never
What?
heard it.
This would be
I know the
played
whole
like in
dance.
Old Town. This would be played like in Old Town.
Well, yeah, if you know the song, you
Yeah.
know the dance because it's super easy and.
I think like Flo Rida just left him. Yeah.
We've been playing this for years.
And that's the crazy part about DJing in 2018 is that there are certain times in clubs you're supposed to know that this works. And you are criticized because you don't play this.
Yeah.
What the date on it says published in 2011.
Okay.
7 years ago.
Is it just me, or do you frown upon DJs that play line dance tracks back to back and just eliminate them all back to back to back?
No.
You don't like that either?
I don't frown upon that. No.
Really?
Because
then they
here's
go
why.
like bunny hop, then they go to WAP, then they go to
So that's called a set. to a DJ. It's called a set.
If you can do it,
get away with
like
it,
3 or 4 of them in a row,
you only
in a way
need, like,
that
3 or
makes
4.
sense and sounds good, then yeah,
it just
why
has to
not?
make sense. Like
If the
in
crowd,
mix,
if the
like,
crowd is dancing, if the crowd enjoys it,
I leave a club if I hear 2 line dance songs back to back. I'm out.
okay, so
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I didn't know
here's
if
what
the
you-
other people felt that way,
but
but like
you-
that's
no, but here's
You
what you
bougie.
get. Here's what you get. Here's what you get when that happens. So let's say you're at a wedding, right? Line dance song, you play the wobble, right? And then you play a top 40 hit that maybe they may or may not know. They might know the lyrics to it. Okay, let's go with Boot Up, right? Let's go with Boot Up.
Right.
So you're gonna play Boot Up. So you're singing, but people leave the club, dance floor. And then 3 songs later, you're playing WAP. So they're coming back to do that dance. Then they leave again. You have this traffic circle created on the dance floor versus, oh yeah, girl, let's go dance.
But I thought
And
that's
then-
what you're supposed to do. Like, you create the traffic circle so they can hit the bar, grab a drink, and then come back. Like, I thought that was the purpose.
So that's what a music professional would think, and a person that's looking at the club as a business would do. And that's why there's nothing wrong with when you leave. And if you have a mic presence, you're sending people to the bar. Like, I try to send people to the bar, no matter if I'm just hired as a club owner, or if I know the owner or not. I'm trying to make that bar money. My job as a DJ, no matter where I'm at, if they got a bar, I'm sending you to the bar because I want you to make money.
Yeah.
Because I want the club to see, hey, that guy knows what he's doing, and I do that. But the consumer, the demand of the consumer, there's a lot of people in there that aren't paying for drinks. They might be getting drinks, but they're not paying. So what does she want to do? She wants to just stand on the floor and dance. So you have to create that set to where she's not standing in the middle of the floor because she knows your pattern. She's going to stand on the floor looking at you like you stupid, like, I'm going to wait for the next song. And now you got this woman standing in the middle of the floor staring you down.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you can create a dance set where you hit them with the line dance and then a upbeat like dance song and then a line dance, and keep people on the floor
can.
instead of just because I feel like if you exhaust all your line dance songs, you exhaust all your ammunition that automatically pulls people to the floor.
Well, that's where you got to do what I've learned is called crowd literacy. You got to learn the crowd. You got to look
read-
and see.
read
You
the
got to
crowd.
read the crowd.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm with you on
okay.
that.
And so once you're reading the
So
crowd,
you say like different spots call for different. I understand that. I understand
and
that.
the 2-3 line dance set
Yeah.
works.
I got you.
And you've got the line dances, but then you've also got the Dougie, and you've also got the stanky leg.
That's what I'm saying. Like, those aren't line dance tracks,
Those are not,
but those are
those are also like
Right.
the dance section tracks that you can mix in
Right.
there when
right.
the
'cause
crowd's
you can hit
starting to get a
'em
little
with the,
sparse.
with the Bernie, the Cat Daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, get
The what's that? Got my Vans on.
Yeah.
Look like sneakers.
right.
So
You can
those
hit them with the
aren't- you can do those.
make them hit the folks.
Yeah. So
you know,
you got
The
that.
dirty booty. I love all those songs.
But yeah.
Soldier Boy.
So we were talking about the mix, right?
Yeah.
So the mix. So it's funny, your criticism of it was his top 40 hits and stuff like that. So with this particular mix, why it's called the draft, what I was doing with this particular one was I was mixing songs that you've never heard, that I've never heard you mix before.
Okay,
So-
you did say that before. Okay.
yeah.
Because you said that, I take that part of my criticism back.
and
No.
I like it. And
Yeah,
I like that
because I forgot
criticism.
you said that.
No, that was perfect that
Yeah.
you forgot it because that's what you heard.
Yeah.
Which means when I heard that from you, I was like, that's exactly what I wanted you to hear because
Yeah.
you have heard mixes. You've heard me mix. You haven't heard a lot.
Right.
But anybody that listens to this mix, and I've got the track list up here. So anybody that looks at those songs, there are about, there are 15 songs. So with 15 songs, I can tell you, I think 9 of them I've never played in the club.
Okay.
Never. And that's why they're on a mix that's released because now they're integrated because
Now you might hear
this
them
is
in the
not
club.
this is not my
got
club
you.
mix rotation, but these are songs that I wanted to present to somebody like, hey, these songs are hot too, like the song mixtape on there by chance. That wasn't when that came out. Not a lot of people remember that song, but if you listen to the song, it's a hot track to me.
Right.
And that's how I present it in the mix, because this is a mix you can hear, and it's like, oh, okay, you might not have heard these songs, but when you hear them again, or when you hear these songs on the radio, it's like, oh yeah, I recognize that song now.
Yeah.
It forces you to listen to the mix and not ignore it. Like, oh yeah, I know what that song is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I miss that that DJ psychology though. Like I miss the, we live close to New Orleans, so like you go to New Orleans and you will walk in a club, and at the same time every night you'll hear the same song pretty much. Yeah. You know what I mean? Whether you're in Razoo's, 544, the Swamp, whatever, right? You're going to hear the same tracks every spot you go. But, like, I miss the DJ psychology where, like you said, like, people didn't remember that mixtape track when it came out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a DJ. You're responsible for making the song famous. That's your responsibility.
That's my role. That's my job.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned to do with this.
Right.
With mixes like this. And when I started to mix and present them on SoundCloud, no. If you can hear me in the club mixing the same mix that you hear on my SoundCloud, what's the sense of, if TriggaTrey's DJing, I already know what I'm going to hear. Right. I heard it on this mix. I could just turn the mix on. I ain't got to go spend $10 to get in the club.
Right.
That's the idea. But I can take songs and present them, new songs like the M.a.d track. Right. Now I can start playing the M.a.d track more often. It was on the mix. So if I play it in the club now, it's like, where's the song? I've never heard this song, Trey. It's a nice song. Oh, go check out the mix. It was on the mix, week 1, it's on that mix series. Right. And so that's how you introduce it. What I've learned as a DJ is how you introduce songs, and you can break new songs. So I can mix them. I can mix it early. A new song, I can play it early. Maybe not the hypest part, but if I put it on the mix, and the placement of that song on the mix was strategically placed. It was after the entertainment part of the mix. Right. Something I've learned to do in my mixes, and call this free game. If you're listening, free game. Makes the mix different is there's an entertainment factor. There was an entertainment factor at the beginning of the mix. There's one in the middle. Sometimes there's funny sound effects or whatever, but right after the entertainment part of the mix was a brand new song that you had to listen to. Yeah. Because you were listening to Bill O'Reilly on set. Right.
And see, what I would love to see, like, going forward with your mixes, those entertainment factors, right? Make them shorter, right? And the only reason I say make them shorter is people's attention span, especially when listening to a long project, is like 30 seconds.
It's about 12 seconds.
12. Oh, my man. 12 seconds, right? So you make it shorter and you chop it up and make it move, and it keeps people interested because it's moving, it's shaking. It's like, hit me with another one, right? Then you can let one sit for a minute and then hit them with another one, right? As soon as you start to lose focus on it, that's when the mix will change. You know what I'm saying? Because in essence, like, I like the way you did everything, because I've seen you live a couple times, like maybe 3 times. I've been in a spot where you was at, right? Mm-hmm. And the way you mix is different than the way a lot of other DJs mix. You know what I'm saying? Because you know your music a lot better. Other DJs just know what songs go together. You know your music, right? You're like, oh wait, this will go with that. Yeah, let's try it. Boop. And then it just drops in, and it's like, oh man. And you'll do stuff that other people won't do. You're not afraid to slow it down. You're not afraid to speed it up in the middle of the track.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right into the song.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's really cool to see, that you're not afraid to try something outside of the box.
Right.
In order to make it work, because it's not bad to slow it down or speed it up. You know what I mean? Because when you did it,
ideal.
Yeah.
Speed it up, slow it down, so people.
It draws your attention to it.
Yeah, people who
like, wait, what?
get used to a rhythm or a tempo.
Yeah.
That creates what's the word? It creates something's different. There's something different, and that creates something in your mind. It's like, oh wait,
it's a trigger.
That's the trigger. Yeah.
See what I did there?
You get triggered.
Let's see what you did there.
Triggered. It's a trigger.
Trigger tray.
And the air horn is on time. It's interesting listening to you guys talk about, like, hip hop music, and like the way you mix hip hop music is so different from like the dance music
Right.
circuit. I mean, there's similarities. There's especially the way you're talking about the tempo changes and stuff.
Right.
And the way, I mean, you need to bring in some popular songs, some songs that people have heard before.
Right.
But depending on like the type of set I'm doing, if you're playing a song that somebody else has heard before, you're actually boring the crowd. At least in my type of sets.
Right.
Because people have heard it before. It's radio.
The thing about dance music, so venues that I've played that typically are house or dance, it's a lot of the same songs, but it's different versions. It's like a lot of the remixes. Or, this DJ's remix, so I'll get some of those and you mix them up. So it might be the same Taylor Swift song,
right?
But it's on a different beat. And so
DJ Loopy Loop version.
Yeah, DJ Loopy Loop version, and you got it, but you got to know how it comes in, how it goes out.
Yeah.
And for those, you're typically able to play that whole song.
Oh yeah.
What I found. And so there's not as much, because that it's almost like a pre-recorded mix, because there's a remix. That's not how the original song was made,
right.
because it's a DJ Loopy's version. Shout out to DJ Loopy, whoever he is, right? free plugs. But I've learned in those clubs or those venues, you have a new one, they're gonna dance to it, and honest to say, man, in those clubs, the consumer isn't as judgmental. They don't care as much. They heard the song.
They're there to dance.
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
and as long as you can present yourself as a DJ that has a good version and a good mix up to have them on the floor, send them to the bar, like you said, it works.
You have to play. You have to play the energy level.
Yes, you play the energy level
where you're reading the songs and reading where the consumer is on the song and trading out the high impact songs from the low impact songs, so that people are going to get drinks.
Yeah,
right.
In dance music, you're playing with the energy instead.
Playing with energies.
Since you're playing with the entire song, you're playing with the highs and lows of that song.
Right. And you're doing sound effects and loops and cuts, and you're
far
messing
less
around.
people going to get drinks.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
in general.
But
they'll get tired eventually of dancing, and they'll go get drinks,
Yes.
and then they'll come back.
Correct. And
So
it's
it's a
not
different-
and it's almost not so much of what you're doing. It's can you control the energy? Can you hold the energy? Put it that way. But in the hip hop clubs, you have to create those moments in segments quickly. Pow.
Yeah.
Here's a segment of it. And so I'm creating the DJTriggaTrey loop of smashing or mixing two popular songs together, to where your brain is like, which song do I sing? I don't know what song I want to sing. Do I want to keep singing? Do I want to keep singing this song, or do I want to go into the next one? Because I know what the next one is. I hear it there. And and so that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of the mix. And you need that balance, definitely. So I am, currently looking to get into more of those venues where I'm doing more dance.
And they pay better.
More clubs. And yeah, they do.
They do.
They did, especially in New Orleans.
No, I mean, collectively, they still do.
Collectively, overall, I will tell you.
Yeah, but so all right, so there's this interesting phenomena where there is such a this the supply and demand of, say, top 40 or hip hop or like pop music DJ is not as, there aren't as many of those types of DJs as there are music DJs now. And so there is still, I feel like the demand is about equal.
Okay.
But since there's such a high supply of dance music DJs, a lot of these DJs, especially the new ones, are coming in and saying, I'll do this for free. If you put me up here, I'll play an 2-hour-long set for free, which means that the value of that type of DJ drops.
The entertainment value.
Yeah,
That's the entertainment part of the mix.
Yeah.
The Benji, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
the value of the DJs in general drop. And so,
definitely.
like, for example, I'll get a call from a club in the city, and they're saying, hey, we want you to do this show. I'm like, great. How much are you paying?
Right. You got to
And
ask
they
what's
give
the
me,
budget
like-
for the DJ.
They give me a look like nobody else is getting paid. It's like, wait, then,
Right.
then
And-
you don't want me.
Right.
But
And
now I'll go out to, for example, I get a ticket out in London, and they'll pay you. They'll pay you a lot.
Right.
I mean, they'll pay you to fly out there and stuff. So it's New Orleans is maybe it's just New Orleans just because I'm familiar with the scene now.
I'll tell you something. Talking to my DJ mentor, is from Chicago. He DJ'd in Louisiana, but he learned to DJ in Cuba, and now he no longer lives in Louisiana. He's lived on the East Coast, and he's lived along the East Coast now. And just talking with him, we talk every day. And talking with him, he's really confirmed what we thought. DJing in Louisiana is different from DJing anywhere else. So Louisiana has such a high demand of local music. You have to have so much local music that's not anywhere else. That when you go other places like New York, Miami, these what we call A markets.
Right.
And unfortunately, Louisiana's not an A market.
Right. But they play like the top 40s and stuff.
But, you know,
Or
here
just stuff you've
I
never
was,
heard before.
Yeah.
So I was talking to him. And I was like, man, I'm you know, last night I rocked it or whatever, or, you know, whatever phrase I use. I mean, we ripped the club. It was turned like technically last night I was at a club. It was packed, and I felt like I did my thing. We was there till most clubs in at 2. I was there till 3. I didn't stop playing music till 3 because the club was packed. We were turned up. But I have to know at the end of the day when I go look at my playlist, what did I play? And it's different, way different than anything I would have played was I in one of those A markets, you know. So learning that. So what you were saying about even the pay structure, like you said, overseas in London, man, they might treat you like a god.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas in New Orleans, like you said,
$100 a night.
It's like, yeah, they want you to play,
that.
you know, hey, you know, that's what we got. But
Yeah, they'll pay the house DJ. If you're a house DJ, they'll pay you.
so,
They'll pay
so
you a
you have
salary.
to you have to develop that demand, and
Yeah.
that's where you show your value.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, what I've learned, you gotta wait until they take another DJ and they miss you.
Yeah.
And then it's like kind of like you don't wanna try to tax them, but just depending on how they treat you.
Yeah.
And that's where DJ and I've always learned to talk to the owner, the club owner, not not necessarily the promoter.
Yeah.
Promoters are good, you know, because you can make some money if you got the right relationship with the promoter, but you really want the relationship with the club owner because the club will be there typically longer than the promoter is. The promoter will jump around, go to different venue.
Yeah.
And so that's what you learned, and I definitely feel you on that. Like I'm in the process of raising my minimum value is what I'd call it, you know, because of different things that I'm doing. So I got to figure out how to market myself in Louisiana to demand a higher pay, because like you said,
Balance music. That's it.
Bro.
because like you said, you gotta compete with those people that are doing it for little to nothing. And, you know, people are out here talking about they're not doing it for little to nothing. And it's kind of like, hey.
When you talk about like marketing yourself in Louisiana, like what I feel though, in Louisiana, like the effortless marketing is the one that takes off, right? Because you look at some other people, like they do the gimmick marketing, right? You know,
What do you mean?
so like they'll have a gimmick, you know what I mean? Like whether it be how do I explain it without ousting nobody?
Like a mask or something?
No.
Or like...
I mean, that can be a thing too. However, you know, like Deadmau5, but Deadmau5 is dope. Like for instance, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So like they'll have.
They could probably read your lips actually, but okay, I got you.
I was blurring the lips out.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, because it's just I'm not
Gimmicks. I got you.
gimmicks.
Let's go there.
Here's the thing, right? What I don't want to do is I don't want to shit on nobody.
Right. No.
Right.
There's no reason to.
Yeah, I don't shit on nobody. Because what's working for them is working for them, and I don't want to shit on it at all because it's working.
Right.
Right.
No, definitely. If it's
Right.
working, you don't fix it if it ain't broke.
Exactly. But like I feel like that does a lot better than the thought out planned marketing, like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna work on this over here, work on this over here. Then you got somebody that just comes through and it's like, it's me, you know, the mouse man, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And like everybody eats it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think
Even with no talent behind it, initially, it's just like,
I think the gimmick works for so long, and some people are a product of timing. Yeah, great timing, right? You gotta smile. So great timing. So if you're in an area, and regardless if you're in Louisiana, anywhere, it's still supply and demand still is there. If there's no demand, I mean, if there's no supply there, the demand is usually higher right there because it's still music.
Yeah.
People still want to hear music. People are still having birthday parties for their kids. People are still getting married. So somebody has to take the gig. And unfortunately, if you're the only one in that area doing it, or, you know, you're the only one with some speakers, if you're the only one in the market with speaker, you're going to get it. But, and that's what, there's no demand for you to better your craft and stuff like that because there's no competition.
yeah.
But like you said, positioning myself to demand more for the value. I have to do things. I have to be more of that planned marketing.
It's, you know, like one thing you said that kind of rang true in my head, and it hit me, and I was like, fuck, I never thought about it until you said it. You said, you know, the person that's around with the speakers. Like, I made far more money with an iPod and an auxiliary cable than I ever did with a $5,000 Mac and a $600 mixing board. Seriously, I made more money with the iPod and auxiliary cable.
You where you are, location and supply demand. The supply demand factor.
Yeah, like it just never hit me. I was like, I wasted a whole lot of money.
And
anyway,
right, and because if you're the type of person doing it, if you become like, I know some DJs that are now sound guys too. I know one guy in particular. He's a DJ. He DJs some clubs. You know, he'll hold it down, does his thing. But he makes a lot more money renting out sound to other DJs.
yeah,
That's residual income. He doesn't have to be there. All he has to do is be there to to drop the stuff off, set up, make sure you're straight. He goes and does a gig, then comes and picks it up. Like you're double booked right there.
Yeah.
And so if you develop that reputation, that's another form to where that's how you make it in an area like Louisiana.
Yep.
I feel like he's making more money than some of your hotter DJs because he's getting money off everybody.
Well, here you got to be hustle man.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So tell me if it's similar in the like pop music, hip hop music, like realm of like performance art DJing, as it is with the dance music. It seems like, and again, because there's so many of these young gun DJs, so many of these kids trying to create something, that the market tends to be, people try to step on the backs of their competition. Is there that competitive element in like, say, your scene?
Yeah.
Where people are like backstabbing one another so
It's
that they
more
get...
so of that. It's more so of the understanding. It's the undercutting.
Yeah.
Undercutting for the most part.
Okay.
The biggest way is the price.
The price.
The competitive pricing.
Yeah.
So if one DJ is just doing it for this price, somebody else is doing it for half the price.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like to a younger DJ, they will, come in at a lower rate because they want to be seen. They want to be that.
Yeah.
But then they're building the demand. They're building the demand off of social media following. Hey, so I have X number of followers. So this is people I'm bringing to the club. This is people. And so I see some DJs now who are DJs/promoters, which works.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Whereas hopefully they're doing the whole package and getting a percentage versus a flat rate.
Yeah.
It's a unique business model where the amount that people like you become your funnel.
Yeah, and that works.
Your
and
marketing funnel.
that works because you're using Snapchat, you're using Instagram, and you're using your other social media outlets. But stepping on the backs and going around, I mean, you see that you see clicks for a while, and then typically it's a business issue that happens, and they part ways or. They have a different philosophy. So one person wants to elevate and change something, and another person feels like, it's good. This is good here.
Keep this.
Keep this. We making. We good.
It sounds so. That's. I mean, it's the same scene then.
Right.
It just yeah. I don't know. It sounds like. I don't know. I think some of the like producer DJs, the well known like Calvin Harris's and David Guetta's and Tiesto's and folks of that nature, they've all kind of been saying this for a minute, and it only recently, and by recently I mean within the last like 5 years, made sense to me that the more successful DJs nowadays their skills are in social media marketing and not necessarily in music manipulation, music.
You got a lot of celebrity DJs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, some of them can DJ. Some of them have pre-recorded mixes and they look like they're DJing.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately for the art of DJing and the style and people that love it and do it, with a passion, it hurts and they don't like it. But for the business model that we talked about at the club, if you got the celebrity that's going to come in and DJ, why not?
Oh, yeah.
So it just depends on, again, what that club owner or what that person controlling that night really wants. Right. And there's a balance. Sometimes those celebrity DJs come with a real DJ that doesn't get the name recognition, but they're really the ones that are DJing.
Yeah. Like a ghostwriter.
Yeah, it's just like a ghostwriter.
Man, like who did I see? Again, relatively recently, I think it was a couple years ago, but it was
Will Ferrell.
No, it was Tommy Lee, like the drummer. Guns. What did he play? Poison or something.
I've seen Shaq.
Shaq, yeah.
I think Future DJs. But
what's your name? Rose. Something Rose.
Y'all remember the Will Ferrell thing?
I don't.
Will Ferrell?
So Will Ferrell went out and created his own like character, DJ character, and DJ'd a bunch of gigs and never revealed his identity. And then, like, on stage at some award show or whatever, came out there and was like the celebrity DJ and was whatever that character was, right? And then revealed that it was him the whole time.
Was he good?
Was this recently?
Yeah. Like
this is a joke.
Yeah, I know. But that's the thing.
Marshmallow? Are you talking about the Marshmallow?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Marshmallow's actually somebody else.
I get that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's where we're losing.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
You know what I mean? They didn't book a DJ. They booked a show.
Yeah.
Right.
And
you see what I'm saying?
And there's a difference. And, it happens like that. But usually, unfortunately.
It was dope, though.
I mean, if you went and you saw it and you enjoyed it, then it worked, But that's why you got to have as a DJ, as a mobile DJ, you got to have your balance. You got to have your ideas. What's going to make you money and what's going to get you, that name recognition so you can make the more money. So, you know, you got to figure out your area. You got to figure out your niche. Your niche. Yeah. I don't know why that word has two different sayings. Half the people call it niche. Half the people call it niche.
Yeah. Whatever, magazine you subscribe to.
Right.
like when Jared was here, your subscribed opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think history repeats itself, and I think it comes back around. I think there will be a time. I mean, I think right now there is a need for DJs that know what they're doing, and I think I think there's usually times in which the club owner wants a good DJ, and there are times the club owner wants a good show.
Yeah.
And it always goes in and out. And those DJs that can withstand the test of time of being able to create both and understanding that, hey, you're a DJ, you're not a show, and can, make it during those show periods. And then when there's time for a DJ, they come back, because I've been to New Orleans where there was DJ competitions, and I've seen some DJs I've never seen, and I'm like, wow, what, these cats have been floating around here, been rummaging around here for years. Like, these dudes is hot,
It's like the producer community and the dance community, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so the producer community goes through that too?
Yeah, for real.
In what way?
So, like, sometimes people want a beat that sounds like everybody else, right? Like, they'll come to you and be like, yo, can you make a beat sound like Future? Well, do you sound like Future? And then other times they're looking for something creative to spark some creative juices. So where, as a DJ, one of the reasons I stopped DJing is going to events where I wasn't allowed to be a producer, basically, right? Because that's what I wanted to do in that time period. And then I get to be a producer, and then I realize that people don't want me to produce what I produce. They want me to produce everything that they're hearing.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then I'm like, I don't want to be a producer anymore because I feel like I can't be creative, right? Because doing what Future does isn't like it's not creative to me.
There's
right.
a Future song playing right now. Very ironic.
And I had no idea.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
This mix here. I was like, oh my God, he's playing this one. I was like, oh Jesus. It's like a 2016 mix.
But that's like, I feel like that's not creative for me because it's not part of my who I am. When I create the tracks that are part of who I am, I feel like they're epic, and I feel like they become part of my set of greatest hits, productions. And so not being allowed to do that made me switch to go, I'm an engineer, right? Because that's where my passion is anyway.
Definitely.
And then in the engineering world, that doesn't exist in the same way.
So the engineering world and the little that I know about it, very small, I do see it. I do see the undercutting, and not so much of the undercutting by the engineers, but the undercutting by what the artist wants to pay for.
Right.
Like,
heavily.
Heavily. Because, being around you, we'll listen to a song, and I'll see you over there cringing, like, oh, the quality of this song. And I'll be like, hey, what do you think about the song? And you were like, I don't like it. And I'm like, man, it's the hottest song on the radio. You're like, yeah, but it wasn't done properly. Like the sound quality of it is trash. And it's almost like you can you can tell me what file format they use and why is it still in it. It just came like mix and mastering. Common phrase, like, this ain't even mixed and mastered. Like, why? Why wouldn't you even, you seem offended that this person wouldn't even take the time to get their audio track mixed and mastered. Like, that's like the basics. Right. Am I right? Or
yes, you're right in that. And like the things that go through my head is, and the reason I look and feel offended is because I feel like I'm here and my prices aren't crazy, right? Okay. For that stuff. And I feel like anybody's able to reach out to me for mixes and masters, right? And I'll do them and make them sound crisp, clean, done correctly, right? And not oversaturated. And my purpose for tracks is for them to sound like their own tracks, rather than a track that sounds like everybody else's track.
Speaking of tracks, you can cut that one. I don't think this was mixed and mastered.
Right.
Perpetuating the cycle here.
But like like recently there was an artist that sent me a track, right? And because I understood in that moment, like my job for that artist sending me the track wasn't to critique the track, it was to energize the artist. So I was like, yo, it's dope. And that's really all I could say about it. But my real answer was, this sounds like everybody else. Yeah, what I wanted to say was, this sounds like everybody else. Right? The auto-tune is off. Matter of fact, the auto-tune is tuned to the wrong key. You know what I mean? And
But where do you as an engineer / producer, where do you draw that line? Because I'm just playing devil's advocate, thinking as a new artist or young artist. So before I can stand out, I need to at least fit in. So where do you draw that difference with? Because I need to sound like everybody else to be invited, as we call it, be invited to the cookout, right? I need to be invited to the cookout before I can stand out at the cookout.
Why don't you just start your own cookout?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like,
Okay,
like Lil Dicky never belonged to the cookout.
He never
and yet
conformed.
he gets invited to the cookout now.
Right.
He got.
He created his own cookout. He really did. He did.
What's his name with the white eyes? Hobson. He's never sounded like somebody else.
He tried to. They tried to make him sound in the beginning. In the begining.
Oh.
Yeah. So when he did the album Raw, that album was his breakout of that scene album. Like, I'm not gonna be what y'all were trying to make me.
That's when he became something.
That's when he became something. Yeah.
I mean,
when he started doing the Ill Mind mixes.
Yeah.
but what was he before that? You see what I'm saying? Like, you just said it. You just said it.
Yeah,
he
started.
He was sounding like everybody else. So
he got played.
Was there.
He got played.
But he was there. He
wasn't amongst anybody. He was with a record label that wasn't marketing his stuff. Okay. They weren't funding his projects. He was paying for his own recording. So he's like, well, screw it. I'll do my own videos. I'll do my own recordings.
Became independent.
Yeah, he became an independent artist until he got signed by, I believe, Tech N9ne, right?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't know anything about Hobson until Hobson decided, I'm going to start doing these joke tracks called the Ill Mind to Hobson. I think he's got like 11 or 12 of them now, right? Because he does one a year. And then, like, I discovered him on the Ill Mind to Hobson 3, right? And I've been following him ever since. You know what I mean? I didn't know who he was before. And through the Ill Mind tracks, he told me his story. Then I started watching interviews, and I figured out what happened to him.
So you discovered him on Ill Mind 3. Did you listen to 1 and 2?
Yes.
Was he as standoutish as he was on 3?
Yes.
And I think that's where I was saying is, like, he stood out, but he didn't stand out to you until 3. Something about what happened on 3 jumped out.
Well, what happened on 3 is I went to Full Sail. It was that year I went to Full Sail. I was surrounded by energies that was just music.
So then
I discovered so much.
Knew how to
pinpoint it.
Okay,
gotcha.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I hadn't heard of him before, right? But then I was around a whole bunch of people. That's all they were looking for, and then they introduced me to it.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
Same thing with Nicki Minaj. She started off sounding like everybody else.
Everybody else.
She was good. Don't get me wrong. In my personal opinion, she sounded better than when she was sounding like everybody else. But then she's created this brand that's hers that nobody else can take except for her.
Right. Well, that's like Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga started her career being completely different. I mean, it was different, but it was similar in essence to Madonna.
No, it was the same. She started her career as a backup singer for some group.
I'm not talking about like the bare bones start. Yeah. I'm talking about like the independent artist, like the
start. Yeah. When she became Lady Gaga,
when she became her own music brand.
Same thing with Pink and Sia, and they all had something, but they weren't something until they split apart and did their own thing.
Right. It's like Lady Gaga wasn't Lady Gaga until she was Lady Gaga. Pink wasn't Pink until she was Pink. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's all marketing,
I see what you're
now
saying,
I think about
but
it.
I kind of feel like
it is all marketing.
I kind of feel like I still kind of feel like they were amongst. Then they became Pink. Lady Gaga. I felt like they were in there.
Yeah.
I get what
So,
you're saying.
so you know what I'm saying? They were there. And
They
so
have
that's
to.
why
They have to be
Absolutely.
in. They have to be in the scene. They
they
have
got to
to
be
learn.
around there somewhere, and they can
learn from
They're not
that.
standing. They're not stand out.
Part of that view is the hypocritical dancer that's in me, right? So like in the dance world, we're hypocritical people, right? And by that I mean I have a saying that gives energy to amateur young dancers that older veterans don't give them, right? My saying is you got to bite before you chew, right? And biting in the dance community is when you take someone else's move, you copy it, and then use it in a competition, right? That's biting. You bit
because
that
then
person's
it's
move.
recognizable.
Right.
It's recognizable that you understand.
Well, it's recognizable that you're at the skill level able to do it.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's why I say you got to bite before you chew.
And then
Right.
you can chew that move per se, and you
Make
put
it your
your
own,
flair.
twist it.
And that's how
Exactly.
you stand out. So you're
Right.
there. You got to show you're worthy of.
Right.
You have the skill to do this move.
Right.
Like if you can moonwalk,
But
you can moonwalk.
the hypocritical part is the moment you go from amateur to professional, right? Which is the moment you pretty much you get paid to
Start
to,
getting paid.
to do the gig, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you go from amateur to professional, and then you see another amateur bite your move, hold on, bro. Why don't you be original? Right. That's the hypocritical part.
That is the hypocritical part because
You know what I mean?
because in the DJ world, any mix you're hearing right now, if you heard it, if you heard it, if another DJ did it, it's kind of like you might hear a mix somebody did 2 songs because the top 40 that's literally 40 songs.
Right.
So obviously there's another DJ that's going to mix this song with that song
Right.
a particular way. But if they mix this song with that song and then the very next song is the next mix, it's kind of like you're biting.
Yeah.
But they're, just depends on that DJ. If you're a young DJ and you're not at that, if you're at the amateur level, that's what you do. You do what you heard another DJ do because you're trying to replicate that reaction that DJ got.
Right.
I was challenged one time in a hip hop club to play a song. I was challenged, like, man, I bet you won't play this song. And it was, I'm trying to think, what's the name of the song?
Is it the one I'm remembering?
Probably so. The
What song was
was
that?
it Bruno Mars?
No, I think it was
No.
something much more far fetched.
No. And as a DJ.
I think Benji challenged it, didn't he?
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
the what was the name of that song?
I don't remember. I honestly I don't remember.
All
I
I
remember
remember
the
was
challenge.
It
and
was
then
a challenge. It
I
was
remember
in
him
the middle
saying
of the day.
he
was
did
like,
it.
Man, it was a challenge. It was literally, and it was we were listening to a song at work, and he says, "I bet you won't play this at the Hyvis party." At the Hyvis party, and I was like, "Man, I'll play this song at 1:00." As a matter of fact, it was what's the name of the song? This is that white and gold Michelle Pfeiffer.
That's the Bruno Mars. Yeah,
Yeah, Bruno Mars.
24 karat.
Right? 24 carats. Yes, it was 24 carats in a hip hop club, which 24 carats is a good song.
Yeah.
By far, you could play
Right.
24 carats wherever, but in the particular club I was at, 24 carats wasn't played on a regular.
Yeah.
So
It would have been
I had to
considered
figure
cultural
out-
appropriation.
Yeah, cultural appropriation. So what I did was I had to figure out a way, and this is where I felt like I separated myself from amateur to professional. Because in this culturally inappropriate song, can you get away with playing the song? And I played it in a way that what I did was I knew what I was going to do. So, part of the song, it says, "Don't believe me, just watch." All I did was I looped it to where all you kept hearing was, "Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe." And I slowed it down and I sped it up. And Trinidad James had a song, "Gold all in my chain." Don't believe me, just watch. So I played off the words, and it was supposed to, the reaction I was going for, I wanted your mind to explode. That how did you connect those 2 dots? And that's what I was doing as a DJ.
Because that's how he has conversation in real life too.
Right.
That's how his brain works.
And so
For real.
And so at 1:00, I did that. The club almost stopped. Like I saw everybody in the club stop. Like this shit was like, I was like, and everybody was like, and I was over there smiling. I was like salivating, like the evil genius,
Right.
Because I knew what I had up my sleeve.
Oh, yeah.
And when that happened, Don't believe it. And I came in on that Don't Believe It, Just Watch. And then I started the song. Yeah. And because the song was hot at the time, I saw a couple of heads explode. Like, and they were
You saw the
dancing.
brain matter just splatter on the left side of their skull.
And said Benji walked through the crowd and had to dap me down at 1 o'clock because, I did it. He didn't think I was going to do it. He didn't expect me to do it. He was mid-conversation with somebody, and he was like, wait. No, this is it. There's no way. This is it. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't believe it. So,
yeah.
Those things happen when you're talking about, I was confident enough that I could take that risk.
Yeah.
And, as you were talking about earlier, I will take those risks. And that's what I feel like makes me, kind of separates me.
Yeah.
That's the show. That's
Right.
the DJ show kind of factor that you kind of have to, you gotta have to play with.
A little bit.
You gotta have to play with to, be impressive. And it's like, okay, you're not gonna hear the same old. I'm not gonna come with the same mixes. I've gone to clubs where I've seen DJs sitting down, chilling. I've seen clubs where DJs put on a mix 2 hours long, and they ain't even behind it. Like they
just
go,
walk away.
I'm
Right.
like, where did DJ go? Oh man, he had to run up the street. He went to churches. What? He went to what? I mean, I've seen it, and I'm like, in my head, I'm just like, man, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, these people,
They're not respecting the craft.
yeah,
That's
That is the entire idea going through my head at those moments where I'm listening to those songs and those mixes where it's like,
you didn't take the time.
there's a whole science here.
But
There's
but
a
do
whole
you blame-
psychology here.
Are you, in your experience, are you blaming more of the engineers, producers, or are you blaming those artists when you're hearing those tracks on a regular basis? Because I think it brings me to a point of availability of the engineer and some of the artists.
So I have a plan up my sleeve to.
I remember this mix.
I have a plan up my sleeve.
This is another strategic
to,
mix, by the way. It had a concept to it.
to attack what I think is the problem, right? And I believe.
Do you mind sharing?
I'm not gonna share my plan, not yet.
The problem. Do you mind
But
sharing
I'll share the problem.
Okay.
The problem, I believe, is education, right? I believe they don't know what's available, and I believe that the people see what I do and believe everybody can do it, right? Which, in the essence of what I do, it's easy, right? Until you hear the nuances.
Okay.
Until you guys have both had the privilege of sitting in the studio with me, hearing something and going, "Oh, that's dope," and I put the finger up, right, and be like, "Wait,
Watch this though."
right?"
Yeah. I've seen those moments.
Right, and then you're
I've
like,
been there.
"Oh," right, and I fixed something you didn't hear, right? And I'm not saying that to like brag or be cocky or anything like that, but I feel like
That's why you got the plaque, though. But see, that's why you have the credentials and the plaque.
right, it's to do stuff like that, to bring, and I think the problem is I need to bring awareness to the fact that, hey, this is what professional looks like. This is how things are supposed to sound. This is how it's supposed to look, right, when you're doing that.
There's like I feel like there's multiple levels of it. I think one, it's a societal thing. Like society accepts like a producer engineered track or a artist produced and engineered track, and they're fine with that. And then you hear an engineer come in and actually do what they should be doing to that track, and there's a difference.
It's almost like they put the education on it.
Yeah.
Almost
But
like
there's something now that I'm as for example, my girlfriend is recording songs now,
Okay.
and she's working with a guy who he is not necessarily an engineer. He is a producer. He's a musician of sorts.
Be a composer.
Yes, yeah. And as they work together, he's doing the sound engineering part while he's doing the production and the like creative bit. And the more that I hear them work together, the more that I realize that the production bit and the creation, that's all part of the creative, artistic bit of the process. However, the engineering part is science, and those do not belong in the same realm.
Right.
There's the more that I've worked with you and watched how you do things, you'll add stuff that I would hear. I mean, we were just doing this the other week. He put this high pitched noise on something. I was like, that sounds like garbage. But then he played it in the mix, and it sounded better than I could have ever assumed it would have sounded. And that's science. That's not. There aren't any artistic directions, any artistic. He's not coming in and saying, oh, this should go here and this should go here, and let's play with this and let's make the track sound this way. He's not doing that. He's going through each sound, each layer of sound, and saying this would sound great with this layered and mixed, and there's a whole different. It's a whole different type of game.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a different world, you know what I mean? Just like you guys respectively, DJing, of course, DJing as well, but video, you know what I mean? Creative production. There's a different world that you live in where you see the world through different eyes.
Right.
Listen at the world through different ears.
Definitely,
right?
Definitely.
Than the people that
The
are around
masses,
you.
the consumer.
Right? And the conversation that we have has to change. The words that we use have to change, right? You know what I mean? Like, for so many years, one of the most frustrating things I've heard people say is, especially in the hip hop world, is I'm a producer. No, you're not. You're a beat maker, and that's respectable, right? You know what I mean?
Right. Beat maker versus producer.
Producer, right? Composer versus singer, songwriter, right? They live in a similar but separate reality, right? They all end up mixing together, right, at some way, shape, or form. But when you put together your creative team, right, respect the expertise and the levels of mastery that are amongst you, that are around you. You know what I mean? Because then you can create a better project, and I don't know if it's a money thing. I don't know. I believe it's more education than anything. I believe people just don't know that's what it looks like.
It's an ignorance thing. Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
And you definitely need that team because, team literally stands for together, everyone achieves more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what the team is.
It's kind of like we were talking about with our marketing. We don't have somebody doing our marketing. Like we all kind of do the marketing for the brand. And the more that we do it, the more that we realize that we cannot market our own brand. We are a marketing company. We do some marketing things for other people, and we can do that all day, every day. However, when you're marketing your own brand, you can't hear your own brand from the outside, from the way that the client, the customer should listen.
Right.
So I think that's part of that
you
team.
have a bias. You have a definite bias.
Exactly. So when you have the artist who's making the beat and composing the instrumental and writing the words, and then they're sequencing and engineering, they're listening to every stage all at the same time. They're not going through and then listening back and listening to something that somebody else did. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
You need somebody from the outside who isn't already in love with the track, who hasn't already heard the track 1,000 times to do the science.
But that somebody sitting behind the board that can't actually hear the words.
But what happens in the industry? What happens in the industry is that one person starts out having to do all of that until somebody else decides, and one of my good friends says it, all the time, let it happen organically.
Yeah.
So it happens. So that one person is doing all of that, and then somebody else comes along and gets up to become a part of the team.
Right.
And says, hey, look, I want to take this aspect of it. Let me handle this. This is my field of expertise.
Right.
So, you can take an artist and look at his or her first project and then go look at his or her fourth project. And you should see an advancement and an improvement. And then when you ask that person what changed, hey, the first thing they should say is, hey, I got a team. Now. And so, to any of the artists out there, don't take it personal. what's being said, it's definitely supposed to be you wearing many hats at first, because that's typically where your budget is. Your budget is all self. And then as you grow, you know, like you said, it takes money to make money.
Right.
You know, so you have to slowly, you know, do that. Even me as a DJ, currently, and I'm in the process of building a team. Not necessarily of DJs, but I'm building
Funny
a...
she's talking about pay me what you owe me.
Yeah, that is funny. You see, you better have my money. Yeah. Segue, partway. I played this song at an event, and the organization that I was doing the gig for thought that I was playing that song about them because it was towards the end of the event, and I hadn't been paid yet, and they took it personal. I was like, "Oh, we hear you." Like they felt like I was talking to them indirectly to the music, and I wasn't. The song just fit at that time, but
The real question is, did you get paid?
Yes.
Okay,
As a matter of fact, the organization definitely. I showed them much love. And they showed me much love. So I mean, it was never a factor.
Good deal.
But it was funny at that point. It was like we heard you. We heard. I was like,
You know what's funny? I mean, again, another segue, but it fits. Is that people want to hear? Everybody lives within their own head. Their life is
their own reality.
The main thing in life. So when what she said, they heard this song, or rather the previous song, and thought, "Oh, he's talking about us." Everybody has that, which means that people who are
That was their perception of it.
exactly people who are gonna be watching this show will be listening to this and thinking, "Oh, these guys are talking about me."
Yeah.
And in our heads, we're like, "No, we're
definitely talking
no
in
one."
general.
No one.
However,
Yeah.
somebody is going to be convinced
Right.
that we are talking about them.
Right. But you know what? If they feel like we need to be talking about them, then yeah, we're talking about you.
But that's definitely not the case.
That's not the case. We're talking in general. But
it's-
if it hits you in that spot, you know what I'm saying? If the shoe fits, throw it on, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But I hope
be better.
I hope.
Yeah,
I hope
just
what
be
it
better,
is,
that's
you know,
all.
what do you say? Level up.
Level up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, I hope it because what we said, I mean, you are talking about me as a DJ. I'm talking about me. How do I build a team to where I'm not booking and managing my own contracts and trying to DJ and trying to advertise and market myself and do that. So if I can build a team, then together everybody achieves more.
Dude, it's
Right.
amazing. When I was at my highest here in New Orleans, here in this area, I had a manager who was also like a badass marketer, and he did everything for me. He had me flying out to Atlanta. He had me flying out over to Florida. Like we played shows all around the place. I miss that. That's
Definitely.
That's something any DJ needs, somebody to do the extra work so that your time is spent perfecting the thing, perfecting the product, being the product.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Bringing that energy there. And I mean,
Plus, everybody's trying to self-promote.
Yeah.
Come on, book me. Whereas if you got somebody else coming across, actually, I've got
word of mouth.
I've
Right.
got what do you call it? A portfolio of DJs that I think would round out your evening. That's
It's just like with
money.
us, you know, it's much easier for me to talk about Mad Rational as a force, as a unit,
Definitely.
you know, than it is to be like, yeah, you know, I do all that. No, nobody trusts that.
Right.
But when
Right.
you
I
when you
respect
come to
you a
them
whole
and be
lot
like,
more.
Like, hey, look, I have a company, you know what I mean? And it's not just myself. I do have a team, and everyone specializes in the different areas that you're interested in, you know, making you better inside of your organization.
You're already on that next level when you use that C word.
Yeah,
You
company.
know, you're a little more serious. Whether
Right.
that company is failing.
Oh yeah, there's money behind it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money behind it. Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's not just the money behind it; it's the thought behind it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. It's
Yeah.
the determination behind it.
It's the seriousness. It's
Right.
serious enough to be considered
Yeah.
business.
And it's the team.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Again, going back to this whole thing, I think a
Hey.
team is necessary always.
Yeah.
Definitely necessary but like I said, it starts with the one person.
Yeah.
Right.
Doing.
Well, figuring out. I think that's one person is there.
And they-
when you're by yourself, you're there to make the mistakes, to fuck
Yes.
up and
Yes.
learn and
And you learn what you need.
Figure out your strengths and your weaknesses, so then you can build that team to round out those weaknesses.
Yeah, real talk. Real talk. This
Definitely.
has been exciting. I like talking like this. This is dope. See, that's why you was here. That's why you was here. Real talk.
Just showed up, man.
Yeah.
That was, you know.
It's organic.
See what I'm saying?
Speaking of organically, your organically friend needs to organically find his way on this show.
Okay. Yeah. Organic friend.
Yeah.
So now we are specifically talking about some potty.
Right.
Yes. Now
I'm making a
we're
huge
talking
assumption
about
that
you.
you're talking about.
Yes,
Yes,
we are talking
we
about
are
that
talking
same
about that
person.
person.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You know, but for copyright purposes, you're not gonna
Copyright
mention-
purpose. Of
yeah.
course. Of
Right.
course.
We definitely have to get permission.
You know.
Oh man, hey, but I will tell you. I will tell you. That person would tell you when the time is right. When the time is right. I'm just telling you. You can't force it, man.
Perfection.
Hey man, he'll tell you.
Perfection.
I'm trying to tell you. I know this gentleman.
No, he's not just saying that because he knows the gentleman. He's saying it because that's what he's actually
That's
said.
what he's actually saying. I know that. When the time is right. I mean,
When the time is right. What that means is he just happens to have to be in
the area.
in the room, and the lights go on, like for real.
Next weekend, we're gonna find an excuse.
There's nothing unless you write some type of crazy code on the wall that he is yet to learn.
other hints, targets, who that person is. Hey, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I see you. As a matter of fact,
Well, I did have this idea about an app.
you know what? I'm gonna get my phone, make sure the universe isn't talking to me. But, oh man, there was something else we were segmenting to. You said I forgot. I'm gonna get away from that topic. Yeah. I'm gonna get away 'cause when this plays back, I don't want to be a part of this. You guys. Still wanna be-
He expects nothing less from me. I just want to let you know
from
that.
you, yes. You expect a lot more from me. I want you to know. I need to segment the last 5 minutes.
Oh my God. So yo fam, look, thanks for joining us today. It has been a pleasure talking with y'all, talking about these musics, mixes and masteries, you know what I mean, with TriggaTrey. You know, you gonna come back, chill with us, brother?
Definitely, man, whatever you need.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. That just means the Mad Rational podcast family is growing. The kitchen is growing. We might need a bigger kitchen here soon, right?
In the
we
kitchen,
might. I'm just
wrist
saying.
whipping like a stir fry.
Wow. So look, even though we in the kitchen, we might have to get a bigger kitchen, which means that we might be in an outdoor kitchen, and if we in an outdoor kitchen, we gonna call it the cookout. Now, when we call it the cookout, we might need some people to bring some cookout donations so that the cookout can actually happen. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Everybody wants to be invited to the cookout.
Everybody wants to be invited to the cookout. That's all, right? Everybody is invited to the cookout. Just help us make the cookout bigger. That's all.
There you go.
Word. You know what I'm saying? That means help us out. Share it with your friends, your family. Let them laugh too. They want to laugh too.
I mean, follow me, man. Make sure they follow me, man.
That's it.
Follow me. On
How
social
can they
media.
find you?
Man, you can follow me on social media, man. We'll put the links here somewhere. My social media.
Dope.
So
It should be like all like at DJ TriggaTrey.
at DJ, yeah, most of it is at DJ TriggaTrey, Facebook.
You know what's real
Instagram,
confusing about
Snapchat.
that? Like in my phone is TriggaTrey and everywhere else is DJ TriggaTrey. And a lot of times I have trouble texting you because I can't find your name in my phone. It's stupid. But
But you know my government name.
but it's TriggaTrey.
Okay.
Right. Why would I put your government name?
Okay.
That means my government name's in his phone. Anyway,
Actually, no. Actually, it's Twitch in my phone. Actually, with the apostrophe instead of the I.
So why would you expect your?
I don't
Anyway,
know.
I don't
See?
know.
See?
Shoot. Anyway, look, if y'all
Culturally
like this video,
inappropriate, man.
hit the like button. If you want to see more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, right? And we're gonna put the link to DJ Trigger Trey's social medias and the SoundCloud. So y'all need to go over there, listen to his stuff, and hit that like button, hit the favorite button. Make sure you listen to the playlist, right? Long drives home, dope stuff to listen to. Anyway, look, it's been a pleasure talking with y'all. It's been a pleasure having you here on the podcast, fam.
Appreciate it.
We out. We did.
Shit.
Oh, that's probably funky too.
Oh, it's just aptly.
The fucked up part is I can't really say anything because that's how I sound on the mic on PlayStation. So, and I knew in that moment I could either be real or Trey was about to call me out on it.
Just choose to continue.
Sometimes you got to take the ammunition out of the hands of the hunter.